Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some Star Wars Battlefront 2 news, because we just got the roadmap update as well as the patch notes for tomorrow's hotfix. So let's dive straight into it. The roadmap is more of kind of a living document now, where they add on the website only and don't do the kind of image thing they did initially. So it's only spanning 3 months now, and what Ben said here was the following: keep in mind that the roadmap is a living document. Things can and will be added when the time is right. The Arc and Commando Droid weren't on there originally. So because the actual roadmap now is content-wise a little bit lacking, I would say. However, there are some good things in there, and the simple roadmap is that for April, May and June we are getting one new capital supremacy location each month. So April 24th, and then on May and June we are getting one capital supremacy location, and they describe it as the following: an existing Battlefront 2 Clone Wars era planetary location is added to the capital supremacy game mode. And since we currently have 3, I would guess it's Naboo, Kashyyyk, and probably Kamino. Tatooine potentially, if they remake that to be in the Clone Wars era. I think either Tatooine or Kamino as for the third one. Otherwise, Kashyyyk and Naboo are kind of given. And the other thing they added to the roadmap is that in May we are getting a core mechanics rework for Heroes vs Villains. And it says the core mechanics of the Heroes vs Villains game mode are changed, including the removal of the target system, which is very good to hear. And Guillaume did say in my stream today that it basically felt a lot better in the playtests. It's less chaos and more duel-like when people are not flocking to one person in order to win. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be like Hero Blast or if it's gonna be something else, but we'll see closer to May probably. On top of that, Guillaume also said that this gives them plenty of time to do quality of life updates. For instance, in April there are apparently a lot of quality of life stuff coming to the game, and this is not currently on the roadmap, but these are the kind of things that they might add to the roadmap, or we might find out basically closer to the patches. So I'm glad that Guillaume was able to confirm that, because right now we have got the core content. We do most importantly want more maps for capital supremacy, which is obviously happening. And yes, I would like to get more heroes, blasters, things like that. But I think there's also a lot of bugs and things that need fixing, and they've done a good job the last 2 months or so in terms of fixing a lot of the things that were actually broken since launch. So if they can focus even more on that now, especially when they're focusing on Heroes vs Villains, I think that could be really good. So that's how the roadmap currently looks, and it again more stuff might be added in the near future. But at least we are getting one map per month for capital supremacy. And if we then move on to the actual release notes, the hotfix arrives tomorrow morning to Battlefront 2. First of all, you can read it in the text form here, and how they're happy with the capital supremacy reception and some of the issues with being stuck on the deploy screen and similarly. But I'm gonna jump to the actual specific notes, which includes all of this as well, including the Anakin nerfs. So first of all, they've added fail-safe scripts to reduce the chances of unreactive spawning when transitioning between ground and capital ship phases in capital supremacy. Additional server logging has been implemented to further diagnose spawning issues. Added tentative fixes for online AI causing server crashes on capital supremacy. And something I want to add to this, which is the fact that Ben said, just a note regarding our AI players. The current plan is to check the hotfix for stability for 24 hours once it has gone live. From here we will look at turning them back on for capital supremacy. So the AI will not be back as soon as the hotfix drops, but it will be when they see that it's more stable. I really miss the AI, so I hope it's going to be stable, it works, and within basically 24 hours we might have the AI back in capital supremacy. They also fixed rendering issues that would occasionally cause the client to crash. And then we get over to some damage and cooldown nerfs for Anakin's abilities. First of all, they reduced the retribution choke damage from 86 to 75 per second, and the push damage from the retribution from 80 to 75. So a slight little tweak there, and not over nerfing it for sure. And then they reduced the passionate strike first damage from 50 to 40 and last damage from 150 to 130. I think this is like when you begin the strike it does a little bit of damage, and the actual finish of the strike does more damage. So it will no longer, for instance, be able to one-shot a heavy, since it will now do 170 total damage if you hit both of those. And then they've increased the passionate strike cooldown with 1 second from 12 to 13, and reduced the heroic might base damage from 100 to 70. So no like drastic nerfs, but kind of a overall nerf to all of his abilities. So I think it's a good step. It's better to do these small steps and hopefully make him feel a little bit less strong now, and then they can tweak him more in the next patch if necessary, basically. Because the problem is if they nerf him too much, it's not going to be fun to use anymore. And if they just increase his cooldowns, that just means people are going to camp until they're off cooldown, then go in and do the abilities again. So I think there might be more nerfing required, but it's a good first step to judge, and then we'll see what happens in the April patch. They also balanced the damage values for the infiltrator weapons. The power blast damage have been decreased from 150 to 140 on the ARC Trooper, so that you can no longer one-shot assaults, officers and specialists, which I think makes sense considering how strong the base blasters already are. And then they raised the E5 end damage on the BX droid from 21 to 30, increasing its effective range. And the range was the problem for the BX droid, so glad they have sorted that out. Hopefully can now compete to the ARC Trooper, since the ARC Trooper will do a little bit less damage and you will do a bit more damage, basically. I also fixed an audio glitch where sometimes you would not get no audio if you joined in the middle of an ongoing match, and also some issues where the ARC Trooper would not gain progress when playing on Phase 1 maps. I actually haven't played on any Phase 1 maps yet, but that should now be fixed. And the issue with Darth Maul's choke would kind of glitch out and inaccurately activate from a distance when used at the same time as another hero's ability should also be fixed, as well as an achievement fix for the specialist when scoping on against AI on Capital Supremacy, and a UI bug for the insight and undercover abilities for Rey and Finn also been fixed, and revised the pink color of the ARC Trooper's helmet scanner ability for consistency. I'm not sure what they've changed the color to, because I thought the current color was pretty clear as compared to the BX being a bit more unclear. And lastly, an issue with Geonosians would sometimes fly through the ground on the new Geonosis map, which was kind of scary when it just popped up out of nowhere, but that has now been fixed. But yeah, that brings all the news for today to an end. Now we'll know roughly what to expect the coming months, as well as in the patch tomorrow. Again, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more stuff added to the roadmap, or at least some other stuff, but I do think that Capital Supremacy, more maps, is the most important thing to make sure that that game mode feels fresh, as well as, of course, improving the game with, well, fixes and stuff like that. I do still hope maybe some more content is added, but we'll see. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.